Hi everyone, my name is Fatma Ahmed. I know many of you from the first podcast. I'm happy to finish my first facilitating my chapter 7 of posthumans, the posthuman child pedagogic. So first we posted 2 questions that we want our group members to take a moment and think critical for their different experience perspective. In connecting of the experience from workplaces or placements, I received a great response from many of my group members and enjoy reading and responding back to my peers and even share my more resources to make them learn more in our topics. Question 1 was, what does inclusion mean to you and how can you as an early child educator help children feel included? So Aisha replied to me in the discussion board, and she said that as an educator, I believe that it is vital that we promote inclusion within our classroom, as the negative impact that come from children not feeling included are known as. As educator, there are many things that can be done within our classroom that allow for children to feel included. I replied to her that when we show children video about the importance of valuing one another, tribes and other different cultures, I give her example of my country, that I came from Kenya. Will let them to know from different country how different cultures living together based on their skin color, because I went to school in Kenya which has complete multiculturalism background, many different color resisting from different tribes, and I added the links to let her have a different country perspective. That is amazing to find dividing class video. All students were completely white and they still have had a discrimination challenge. This made me to think outside the box and say even one resistant color still discriminating against one another based on eye color, just eye color. It was new to me to know about this, because only I know is about the skin color, not eye color with different color, and that was different lesson for me personally. And then Aliyah Pendey say what inclusion added in a discussion board. She said that what inclusion means for her was something that she find important to have in center, because it shows to the parents that everyone is going to be included when it comes to their children. If the parent don't see inclusion in the center, then the parents are going to think that the center doesn't care about inclusion, and that is the last impression any children center should have. Then I replied to her, that is very true. When we include all children in every activity, we're teaching them to be united, building good social relationship, and even making them learning from one another's strengths. All children have different temperament, and they are unique as well. So when we included all the children, we'll make them learn properly and develop with all skills that they need in their future life. Then the same question, Aliyah explained more that when she thinks of inclusion, she accepted everybody, no matter their race, ethnicity, gender. If they have disability, she believes everyone should be accepted for who they are. Like in chapter 3 of the book, Regina Amelia believes we should see the children for what they can do and not what they cannot do. I was so enjoyed reading this part. And then I replied to her that I agree with you when you explain that through many challenges of our life's experience, sometimes we understand better what exactly children feel. Then Anthony, in the same question, he replied that the quote reminded him of a movie that watched last summer of his English elective class called A Sound of Thunder. The film, like a butterfly effective movie, that everything that happened now will change the outcome of the future. Going back to the child of mixing family, the student hearing that the school does not think they can handle high school academic could hold them back from what they can do. I feel like as an educator, we are like, we like this and treat every child the same. We believe that when we stop learning, you are harming children you work with and not allowing them to be the best that they can. I replied to him that bringing culture to the classroom is important, especially when children hear the celebration days because that is fun days for them. I remember when I was young, I feel very happy when it's celebration of our Eid, and everyone who is having the different celebration, he also appreciate that day. It's a very important day in our lives. So when you understand when they celebrate and how they wear in their specific occasions, you will catch their interest and they will feel they are valued and feel sense of belonging. Then human others. The focused relation of difference will support children to direct engage with heterogeneity of the common world and the face of challenge, coexist peaceful with others who are not necessarily like them. Most explained on page 166. Moving forward, in our discussion, Alice explained that when she thinks of inclusion, she accepted everybody, no matter their race, ethnicity, gender, if they have disability. She believed everybody should be accepted for who they are. Like in the chapter 3, the book Ration Emilia believes we should see the children for what they can do and not what they cannot do. Stephanie added in the discussion board that for her, I can implement diversity and culture into classroom as an early child educator through providing different cultural costume in the dress up areas so that each child can experience wearing different culture costumes. Interesting. This will professionals help children to ask questions about the culture costumes, which will increase children learning the differences that the cultures and how important it is to respect one another's cultures. And I respond to her that I believe every child is proud when they wear their traditional costumes. Aisha proceed and reply to question 2. She say an example that came on her mind was when writing this accurate during my placement. Sorry. So the question 2 was about how do you think you can implement diversity and culture into the classroom as an early child educators. Give at least 2 examples of your previous experience. So Aisha give us an example that comes to her mind was when writing this occurred during my placement, during our placement with kindergarten. Especially at this age, children are beginning to form the identity and are starting to realize that what different about them from majority. Brown, darker skin, different religions and beliefs. Another example, previously experience where diversity was included within program by me was at my current workplaces. This activity was done with kindergarten and above as well, and they will be more interested. For this activity, we sat and talked about the different countries that all of us were from. I told the children I was from Pakistan, and that is a lot of mountains in Pakistan, as we really enjoy good food. Interesting. That is Aisha's comment in the discussion. And then I replied to Aisha that I believe that when we show children video about the importance of valuing one another, tribes and other different culture, this will let them know from the different countries how different culture living together based on their skin colors, because I went to school in Kenya which has complete multicultural background, many different colors, racism from different tribes. And I also added some resources about my country that Aisha can see and know the different perspective of her country, Pakistan, and my country, Kenya. My finally thought, we all come with different stories. I find this was very good connections and a great learning experience for us to think critical on sharing our unique stories and our life's experience through our beautiful discussion with my group's member. We gain knowledge from mosaic perspective that make us more aware of hidden truth, open our eyes more wider, and allow us further connecting to the book, our world around us, and make our use benefit tools to make this book as benefit tool and knowledge through the rest of our lives. More discussion from discussion thread. I asked Aisha after she responded to my first question that if you see discrimination in your class, for example, it is happening, what action would you implement to change behaviors of your students? Aisha replied, if I see discrimination to my class, example is happening, what action will I implement change behaviors? She said that discrimination happened in my classroom. I will ask the children why they did what they did and tell them why we don't act that way, because it's hurtful to others. After having the conversation, I will ask the children to have a talk with the other children and tell them why they did that and apologize. Well, there is no one way to go about handling discrimination in the classroom. I feel having conversation about these topics is essentials and goes a long way. Anthony, for his side, he say implementing diversity and culture is one of the easiest things to program. You can ask the parents if they feel comfortable telling you what they do at home, what they celebrate. Is there anything that they do at home that others may not? That is interesting. And I replied to Anthony that the parents are the best people to ask. Bringing culture to the classroom is important, especially when children hear the celebration days, because that is fun days of them. So when we understand when the celebration and how they were in their specific occasion, you will catch their interest and they will feel valued and feel sense of belonging. And Stephanie also added that I can implement diversity and culture into classroom as an early child educator through providing different culture costumes in the dress areas that can catch their interest. Interesting. My final thought is that we all come in different stories with our different stories, and we learn a lot from different level of each other stories. I enjoy and respect all contribution that made by my group and myself. This made me to expand my knowledge and understand more in chapters that in the most explanation. It makes me understand more in every different perspectives. When we reflect with the book and discuss in our chapters and link to our experience from our unique ways and teach one another, it was a challenge for me at the first beginning of my class because I didn't do this before. I don't have any experience for reading the book and then discuss with other members of the group. This is my first time and I really enjoyed it. And after I knew, like the way Lisa said in the first beginning of the class, after you know what you need to do, it will flow. Every chapter you'll understand and you'll feel comfortable. And I believe that I feel comfortable after I read, after I connect my story, after I read my other group members' stories. It really helps me to figure out what my aim and what I learned through this book. It's very interesting and I keep on following this book and I'll read it every time in my life, and it's really a very good tool to use in all my entire life. Thank you very much and have a good evening and see you soon.